Have a motion to approve our minutes from our December meeting, which was a total blast. There was a little bit of business done, but it was mostly fun. But the minutes went out shortly after the meeting. And do I have a motion for approval? Yeah.
I'll second it.
So approved. Minutes are approved. All right. Let me just kind of look at this. Size matters. All right. Van, you are probably one of the most heartwarming, gregarious, socially appropriate, fun, you're just the nicest guy you could ever hope to meet. And you've done such a tremendous job that we really, really, really thank you and respect all the effort that you've made on behalf of the chapter. So a quick round of applause for Van. But you're not off the hook yet. Real quickly, I want to introduce our 2015 leadership team, and that includes our board members and our committee members. If everybody would just stand, so you'll at least be able to identify them, and then we'll go through some reports by each. Vice President, Martha Peet. Secretary, Faith Fielder. Treasurer, Don Fikes. Training Committee, Representative Cheryl Ellis. Publicity Committee, still need help, you guys. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Projects Coordinator, Susan Myers. Communications, Wanda Odom. There she is back there. And 2014 Class Rep, Ray Crutchfield. Ray, I did you wrong on the agenda. I put 2013 and I spelled your name wrong. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care because Ohio State Buckeyes won on Monday. He is floating. Member at Large, Jerry Merrill. I don't think Jerry's here today. Past President, State Rep, Mr. Van Elliott. Historian, Judy Elliott. Hospitality, Linda Cox. Membership, Rob Roy. Programs, Peg LaPointe. But she's not here today, so we'll fill in for her. Resources, Jan Hodson. There she is. And our advisor, Janet Lamanek, who I want to say a quick thing about Janet. She goes in for surgery tomorrow, and what would be really terrific is if everybody here would sign that big, huge T-shirt back there and give her a little encouragement. She's got a tough road ahead, so we just want to make sure that she knows how much we appreciate her. So that's our team, and we welcome everybody that's joined us in our group here for leadership, and we encourage other people to help us to handle what we have ahead of us this year. So we've introduced the team. Thank you. I wanted to go through about a little 10-minute pitch, if you will. My background is marketing, and I'm used to pitching. I'm used to yes, it's one of those things. I apologize in advance, but it's something that is really important. We think about who we are, how we got here, and how we got here. It's interestingly enough, we have a gentleman here from class of '99, Joe Bain. Joe, stand up for us. Alex is going to take your picture here in a minute. So the year ahead, let's look at what we have on our plate. This is a pretty interesting year ahead. We had a good planning meeting. We got good input from membership on our surveys. And we have some ideas that we'd like to float today and see how you guys respond to that. Through the rear view, okay, let's kind of look at where we were and where we've been. In 2013, under Susan Poland's watch, we developed a very smart vision. And that vision was one that we proudly display every meeting and we talk about. And we have certainly made sure that everybody sees it. So I'm going to hint at how we need to act on it. And this is a year to do that. So in our community, Elm Fork chapter of Texas Master Naturalists will be recognized as a primary source, two big words, recognized and primary, of information, education, and service to support natural resources and natural areas today and in the future. So we have that established. That's a really good guidepost. It gives us a sense of the kinds of things we can do and gives us a little room to to stretch our wings, if you will. In 2014, under Van's leadership, built solid execution. We have an operation here, and this operation has really great people in place, has all the logistics kind of worked out. We show up for meetings, stuff is ready, it looks right. Hopefully I won't screw that up too much. But we do have a great infrastructure for efficient meetings. We've gotten a lot more people engaged in collaboration in developing our chapter. We've increased our emphasis on supplying demand internally and externally. The idea of having people help with agri-life, when people call and want a presenter, when people want extra help doing this project or that project. We just have a natural glue that gets people excited and everybody kind of wants to help. So a real solid execution. So where are we today? Don't you love these little ant farms? Do you remember those as a kid? They're just the coolest thing. From the outside looking in, when somebody looks at our chapter, when somebody comes to visit us, which I know we have one visitor today at least, they might see a really warm, friendly group of folks. They may see that we're fairly well organized and we run a pretty efficient operation. So that's good. We want that. Those are good things. From the inside looking out, we have a lot of talent in this room. And it's our perspective that perhaps it's not leveraged to the extent that it could be. There's so much smartness in here. In this room, if there were brain points for every brain that was functioning, it'd be through the roof. But how do you leverage all that talent, harness it, and make it work for the organization? And from this little horse's perspective, there's grass out this door. And he's ready to get some grazing going. So we're missing some outreach opportunities. I'm a horse person. I'm sorry. I can fit. The year ahead. 2015 is as close to 2030 as it is to 2000. If you think about that from that perspective, it says, wow, we can stay where we are, or we can be thinking this far. And I like to think this far. Whether we get there today, it is not important, as long as that we have a goal to be looking at and to be thinking about. It's our 16th year. It's a new perspective on the same mission and the same vision. Nietzsche. I'm not a philosopher or an expert on Nietzsche, but I love this quote. The future influences the present just as much as the past. So, I kind of like to think that way, and I hope you will too. Our chapter's grown substantially over the past few years, and yes, this is a crowded room. We know it. We heard you, and the things that we can fix. This is something that's on our list to figure out. How can we do that? Luckily, it's not standing room only today, although I do see a couple people standing up in the back. It's a good problem to have. We just need to figure out how to make it more comfortable for everybody. So we're on a positive trajectory. We measure what we value. Roy has just finished the annual report that goes to state, and we have some pretty good numbers that we're putting out there. And I'm sure he might want to talk to it. If any of you are interested in seeing it, it will ultimately be up in the resource room in a library. And we're pretty impressive. I'd love to see us compared to some of the other chapters in the state to see how well we do. I think we'd hold our own pretty well. So we do measure what we value, and we do know that this year the state is providing a little bit more infrastructure from the standpoint of what they refer to as volunteer management systems. It's basically their code for, or I should say our code for time tracking. And we'll have online timesheets, and that's down the road. Don't freak out. It'll happen gradually and organically. It'll be okay. Plus, the state is in the process of publishing bylaws for all the chapters to follow. So we'll participate with that as well. So, they're giving us a little more infrastructure, which will help. It'll take the load off of us from trying to figure everything out ourselves. Why are we here, you guys? Nature and conservation and preservation and education isn't just a hobby. It's a nice thing to do, and it's a nice thing to enjoy, but fundamentally, it's got to be more than just a hobby, or you guys all wouldn't be so excited about being here the third Thursday of every month and talking about your projects and be willing to volunteer for things that, a lot of people would go, what are you doing that for? We could go to book club. We could go to see a movie. We could do a lot of other things with our time. There's a real need in our area and I'll talk to that in just a minute, real issues with the environment and with our habitat. Growth in Denton County. Right now, this census data is from 2010. But if Denton County in 2010 was projected to grow 53% against a state growth of 20, that gives you an idea about the velocity of growth in this region. And with that comes a lot of people who don't know diddly squat about nature or the environment. And we all see it around us. Not that we're going to be activists or go fight with developers. That's not our mission. But if we can be a really good source, primary source of information and education, then we've done a great job. So that's a goal. What we have to offer, we're a bridge to the natural world for the uninitiated. And there are a lot of those folks out there. And they're moving here at such a fast clip. But by being that bridge, we have an opportunity to really welcome them into the idea of managing the habitat as opposed to exploiting the habitat. Source for best practices in habitat management. We know how to go about doing that. We have a great, strong organizational structure to tackle those challenges. And we've got 146 members to do it. So, with a lot of knowledge. So how can we do it? We have 4 big areas that we identified for goals this year. And the first one was public outreach, to improve and enhance our public outreach. So more emphasis on that. Sponsor at least one public event. Some of the feedback that we got was that we don't own any of our own events. We're always something that's part of something else, like Lilo or Liz Dola or Clear Creek or whatever it is. That we as Master Naturalists Elm Fork chapter haven't really produced anything that is specific in terms of outreach just to our chapter. So we're putting a goal out there that has to do with owning one event. It doesn't have to be the hugest thing in the world, but something that we can claim that is ours from beginning to end. Broaden the sphere of influence in our communities. There are 37 little communities all within Denton County, and that's done. On top of that, we've got Wise and Cook as well. And reaching out to those people, that could be HOAs, that could be elected officials, it could be club members, church organizations, wherever there are folks in a group who want to learn. And there are a lot of those. It's just a matter of identifying them by area and explaining to them the value that we bring to their geography, to their world, and to the world around them. And we have a lot of really great stories to tell. So it's up to us to try to figure out how to blend those stories into something that is tangible to the folks in those communities. Tailor our message. Keep it digestible. Don't give them some vernacular that they're not going to understand, but put it in a friendly way to say, how you go about managing your habitat, if you will, in a friendly, sort of doable way, so they're not intimidated. How can you help? Share your knowledge. You guys are the smartest bunch of people on the planet right here. And if there's a way of bringing that smartness together in a method to educate the public, to bring people over to a naturalist way of thinking, then hey, we rock. We're doing this. So it's important. Consider how you can add value to our outreach effort. Shore up our organization. Support a committee. There are 7 that could use a hand. You guys have little handouts on your chair, and we're looking for help. We're looking for help in publicity. Is Heather Walker here? I don't see her. She has volunteered to help with publicity, and that's great. We could use 2 or 3 other people at least that would be involved in. Maybe there's a reporter for our chapter who goes on various projects and writes about what all is going on, what are we doing, and would maybe provide some information for our newsletter or interview our speakers who are coming or whatever. I mean, there's a reason to have communication enhanced, and publicity is the committee for that. Local community visibility. This is the one I was mentioning. There's 37 towns just in Denton County alone. Workshop project, that event that we sponsor, that we make an effort to own, that needs help. That needs a lot of support. Technology. Martha needs a break on the website. Who wants to step up for that? I mean, it's important. Our website is where people go initially to learn who we are and what we do. It needs help. It needs somebody to manage it. We always need help with hospitality, setting up and taking down. If we end up finding a larger space that's off-premise for our meetings, that's going to be extra work that's going to be required so that we have a friendly, nice, warm, inviting place to meet. And membership. If Rob has to get up here one more time and say, turn in your timesheets, he may quit, and we would hate that. That would be terrible. So everybody that's on the board is wearing a shirt like this, and it says Act Naturally. These are the folks that you go to if you're interested in volunteering for any of these things. Also, there are sign-up sheets that Judy has in the back. She's done a real nice, typical Judy Elliott-esque sort of sign-up sheet format. So feel free to volunteer. And it's just for a year, just for this year. If you want to do it next year, you can. But all we're asking for is help for this year to see how far we can go. I think we can go a really long way. And Act Naturally is kind of do what you do best, which you told us for the surveys. It's people. There's a social glue that's really powerful. And it's the projects, the diversity of projects that we have to work on. It's also, our Act Naturally is enhancing our little habitat so we can be more effective. So with that, it's going to be a great year, and I thank you.